Hello and welcome. This is McGoobage. My name is Andy and this is a fairly new YouTube channel. For those of you that have seen my channel before, you would have seen that I did 2 playthrough series last season and got sacked twice in non-league. I'm useless with tactics. The thing is, I know there are plenty of people out there that also are. You're a bit like me, you struggle. So, I've been on the community forums, I've been around different websites, and I'm going to put together a tactical experiment. Now this experiment will be 4 of the most popular tactics tested with every single Premier League team, starting with the top 6 this week and then moving forward to the rest of the Premier League, just to see how effective they actually are. Now there are 2 types of people that play Football Manager, in my view. It's those that have the time to create and develop their own tactics, and there are those that don't have the time, that would love to have the time to develop their own tactics but need to play the game for an hour or a couple of hours a day or a couple of hours a week. They just want to download a popular one and give it a whirl. Hopefully these videos will give you a bit of a guide as to what tactics work with each team to help get me started. Let's get straight into it. Tactic number 1 is by Knap, who's a popular poster on the forums, the SI community forums, and it's the 4-2-3-1 Beowulf. There's plenty of different versions on here. He tests I think on FM Touch and things like that. It's the Giraffin version that we're going to be using. That is tactic number 1. That's a 4-2-3-1 formation. I'll go into it when we get into the game, but that's tactic number 1. Tactic number 2 is by Fuss, Minimal Fuss, Fastidious I should say. Again, a regular poster. He's a regular poster on this particular forum, and I'm using the stable version 2. So all the links to the tactics will be in the description. Minimal Fuss, Fastidious, version 2, the 4-1-2-2-1 formation. Tactic number 3 is by Rossler, who is another brilliant technician, and he's a regular poster on the forums. His is the Steadfast, a flat 4-1-4-1 formation. Very, very popular, and again he has a lot of success with his tactics. This will be implemented as tactic number 3. Tactic number 4 will be Jamie's 4-2-3-1 Attacking Catenaccio with set pieces. This is a very popular tactic on his Twitch channel, and this is going to be tactic number 4. Hello and welcome to the next video in my Premier League tactical test series. This is McGoobage, it's Andy, and today we are with Newcastle. Now, if you haven't seen any one of my videos, why not? If you haven't seen any one of my videos, then what we do is we set the staff up. The staff will take over everything. Responsibility-wise, they look after the training, the contracts, the transfers, everything, the pre-match tactical briefings. What we do is we load each tactic through and we pick the team based on the highest rated players in the game. Now, in some formations, they won't fit the positions naturally, but for level of consistency through all 20 Premier League videos, this is what we're going to do. So, to tactic number 1, and it is the Knap Beowulf, the 4-2-3-1 wide formation. It's attacking, it's the Tiplicet tick-attacker style. Excuse the plane noise coming over. So in possession, short passing to space, play out of defence, low crosses, run at defence, work the ball into the box. They ask the fullbacks to overlap on the left and right hand side with slightly lower tempo. In transition, you take short kicks, you distribute to the fullbacks, you counter and you counter press. And out of possession, defend narrower, higher defensive line and line of engagement. Extremely urgent, prevent short goalkeeper distribution. You get stuck in using tighter marking and use of the offside trap. So as we said, it's a 4-2-3-1 wide formation. In goal, Dubravka on defend. 2 wing backs on attack, Dummett and Yedlin, with Fernandez and Shah as the ball playing defenders on defend. Key is deep line playmaker on support. Shelby's box to box support. Kennedy and Ritchie are inside forwards on support with Ayoze Perez, the attacking midfielder on attack. And Muto is the advanced forward on attack up front. Let's see how this plays out. So, Newcastle finished 10th in this particular season, tactic number 1. 13 wins, 13 draws, 12 defeats, 52 points, 5 off of 7th place. Let's have a look at their schedule. So, Premier League. Started off with a draw at Southampton, then drew to Crystal Palace and Bournemouth, before beating Wickham EFL Cup second round 4-1. Premier League. Beat Man United at home 3-1, beat Fulham, lost to Man City, beat Millwall FA Cup third round, beat Tottenham in the Premier League, Into October, beat Burnley, drew with Arsenal, beat Leicester, lost to Tottenham EFL Cup 4th round. Not a good month in November. They got beat heavily at Liverpool 5-1, drew with Wolves and lost to Chelsea. Into December, beat Cardiff in the Premier League, drew with West Ham, lost to Brighton and Watford, beat Southampton, lost to Everton and then beat Huddersfield on the 29th of December in the Premier League. New Year's Day they beat Crystal Palace 5-3 away, with beat Millwall FA Cup 3rd round 6-0 away, good result. Drew with Bournemouth, lost heavily to Man United, beat Brentford FA Cup 4th round and then beat Fulham in the Premier League. Then form takes a bit of a tumble with only 4 wins between now and the end of the season. So into February, drew with Man City, lost to Tottenham, beat Swansea FA Cup 5th round, drew with Burnley, drew with Arsenal, drew with Leicester, beat Liverpool 5-1 in the Premier League at home, but then were thumped by Arsenal FA Cup 6th round and by Chelsea in the Premier League. Lost to Wolves, drew with Cardiff, lost to West Ham and Brighton, beat Watford, beat Huddersfield and then drew with Everton. So you can see where they lost their points in the final couple of months of the season. Player performances, let's have a look. Shelvey 7.22, Perez 7.14, players that played majority, Yedlin 7.0, Shah 6.98 and Dummett 6.98. Goals, Muto 22 from 43 and 5 assists, Perez 17 from 44 and 9 assists, and Shelvey 6 from 38 with 7. That's tactic number 1. So tactic number 2, and it's Minimal Fuss's fastidious tactic. It's the 4-1-4-1 DM wide. It's positive, and it's worth noting this is the tactic with the least instructions, as you can see. So in possession, shorter passing, play out of defence, work the ball into the box, lower tempo, frequently waste time. Transition, you asked to roll it out, distribute to the fullbacks, counter and counter press. And out of possession, a high defensive line, short goalkeeper distribution and use of the offside trap. Dubravka is a sweeper keeper this time on defend. Your 2 wing-backs are wing-backs on support, Dummett and Yedlin. Your centre-backs are centre-backs on defend, Fernandez and Shah. Key drops to a defensive midfielder on defend. Diami's box-to-box on support and Shelvey's and Mazzala on attack. Kennedy and Ritchie are your inside forwards. And Muto is your deep line forward on attack. Let's see how it plays out. So, Newcastle finished 6th on the Europa League place. Great performance. 7 points off of 5th and only 8 points off the Champions League. Excellent performance. 19 wins, 6 draws and 13 defeats. Let's have a look at the schedule. So, Premier League started off with a big win against Crystal Palace 5-0. Then lost to Bournemouth but beat Bristol City EFL Cup for 2nd round. Drew with Man United, beat Fulham, lost to Man City, beat Bournemouth EFL Cup 3rd round. Drew with Tottenham. Into October, they beat Burnley, lost to Arsenal, beat Leicester in the Premier League, before being beat by Liverpool EFL Cup 4th round. Again, not a good month for November. Lost to Liverpool, Wolves and Chelsea, all in the Premier League. But then a good December this time, with only 1 defeat from 7, winning all the other 6. They beat Cardiff, beat West Ham, beat Brighton, lost to Watford, beat Southampton, big win against Everton, and then a win against Huddersfield. Good month for them. Into January, they lost to Crystal Palace and then Everton, FA Cup 3rd round. Beat Bournemouth, lost to Man United, beat Fulham. Into February, drew with Man City, lost to Tottenham and drew with Burnley. Then 4 wins on the spin in March. They beat Leicester, they beat Liverpool, they beat Wolves and Chelsea. Into April, lost to Arsenal, drew with Cardiff, lost to West Ham, lost to Brighton but beat Watford, and in May they drew with Huddersfield and beat Everton. It's those final 4 games, or 4 games in April, that's cost them the positions up further up in the table. But as we said, Newcastle finished 6th and qualified for the Europa League, which is a great performance. Player ratings, let's have a look. Again, we're going to use the players that played majority of the season. So, Dummett 7.15, Fernandez 7.14, Shelvey 7.10 and Clark's Diami 7.09, Shah 7.07. So the defensive players come out on top. Goals wise, Muto, 17 from 42, 7 assists. Richie, 14 from 39 and 11. Diarmi, 8 from 41 and 4. With Shelvey, 6 from 40 and 9. So, it was a good performance. 6th position in the Europa League. That's tactic number 2. So to tactic number 3, and it's Rossler's Steadfast 4-1-4-1 version 2. It's the 4-1-4-1 DM formation. It's attacking. You play shorter passing. You pass into space. You play out of defence. Low crosses. Run at defence. Work the ball into the box. But in this one, you focus play through the middle of the pitch. Transition, you take short kicks. You counter and you counter press. And out of possession, you defend narrower. High defensive line and line of engagement. It's extremely urgent. You prevent the short goalkeeper distribution and use of the offside trap. So, you've got sweeper, keeper and goal and defend, Dubravka. Your 2 wing-backs are complete wing-backs this time on attack, Dummett and Yedlin. 2 centre-backs on defend, Fernandez and Shah, with Key as a half-back on defend this time. 2 wide midfielders on attack, Kennedy and Ritchie, with Diarmi and Shelvey box-to-box midfielders on support. Muto is a false 9 on support this time around. Let's see how it plays out. Oh, okay, so we were sacked. Let's have a look. So we were sacked with Newcastle 8th in the Premier League. Let's see when we were sacked. So we were sacked on the 11th of November. Sorry, the 20th of November. Look at me, what am I talking about? I was only in the job for 148 days. So let's have a look at their schedule and we can see when we were sacked. So the 20th of November we were sacked. Let's have a look. So they started off with a win against Southampton, drew with Crystal Palace, then lost to Bournemouth in the Premier League before being beaten by Middlesbrough on penalties EFL Cup second round. Beat Man United and Fulham, then lost heavily to Man City, lost to Tottenham, drew with Burnley, lost to Arsenal, beat Leicester, lost to Liverpool, beat Wolves, and then we were sacked. The next game was the 24th of November, so that's the point where we were sacked. So after that point, they're pretty inconsistent, as you can see. Some wins, some defeats. FA Cup, lost in the 5th round. And Newcastle finished in the Premier League that season. They finished 10th. They sacked us when we were 8th. They finished 10th. They got worse off. Let's go back and have a look at some player ratings, which doesn't really count, but we'll have a look. Average ratings, Richie 715. Muto 7.03, Diarmi 699, Fernandez 698. Goals, Muto 15 from 37 and 4 assists, and Richie 13 from 34 and 4. So tactic number 3, we were sacked. Let's move on to tactic 4. So tactic number 4 is the FM Scout Catenaccio. It's the 4-2-3-1 wide formation. It's attacking. It's shorter passing, pass to space, play out of defence, low crosses, work the ball into the box. Now this one's different from the first tactic, whereas you're asked to focus play down both sides, where the first tactic asks the fullbacks to overlap. This one is to focus play down each side. Slightly lower tempo. In transition, you distribute to your fullbacks, you counter and counter press. And out of possession, defend narrow, high defensive line and line of engagement. It's extremely urgent. You prevent the short goalkeeper distribution. Get stuck in using tight marking and use of the offside trap. So, Dubravka's the goalkeeper on defend. Your 2 fullbacks are wing-backs on attack, Dummett and Yedlin. Ball-playing defenders again on defend, Fernandez and Shah. Deep line playmaker on support, Key. Box-to-box, Diarmi. 2 inside forwards, Kennedy and Ritchie on support. Shelvey's the attacking midfielder on attack this time. And Muto's the advanced forward on attack. Let's see how it plays out. 10th in tactic number 4. Disappointing. 16 wins, 5 draws, 17 defeats. They finished 9 points behind 7th place. And they finished 14 behind 6th. So look at the schedule. So, Premier League, they started off with a win against Southampton. They beat Crystal Palace but then lost to Bournemouth. Beat Huddersfield on penalties, EFL Cup second round. Beat Man United, beat Fulham and beat Man City. Some 2 big results there, but then lost the EFL Cup third round to Arsenal. Then lost to Tottenham Premier League. Beat Burnley, lost to Arsenal, beat Leicester Premier League. Then look at this in November. They lost 7-4 at Liverpool. Beat Wolves, lost 5-2 at Chelsea, or against Chelsea I should say. Drew with Cardiff, beat West Ham and Brighton. Lost heavily to Watford. Drew with Southampton. lost to Everton, beat Huddersfield. Into January, they lost to Crystal Palace, beat Reading FA Cup third round, lost to Bournemouth and Man United in the Premier League, beat Fulham FA Cup fourth round, and then drew with Fulham in the Premier League. February, drew with Man City, lost heavily to Tottenham away, lost heavily in the FA Cup fifth round to Bournemouth away, lost 7-3 away at Burnley, and then lost to Arsenal. Into March, lost to Leicester and Liverpool, beat Wolves, then lost to Chelsea, and then a run of 6 final Premier League games with only 1 defeat, 4 victories. They beat Cardiff, lost to West Ham, beat Brighton, beat Watford, drew with Huddersfield and beat Everton. So they finished 10th in the league. Let's have a look at player performances. Fernandes 7.10, Ritchie 7.03, Shelvey 6.97, Diame 6.94 and Muto 6.90. Goals: Muto 17 from 43 and 1 assist, Ritchie 16 from 14 and 11, Shelvey 9 from 13, 9 from 39 and 6. So that's been Newcastle, finished 10th. As you can see, some varied results with each of the 4 tactics. But yeah, this has been Newcastle. So that's it. That's the end of this particular tactical test. As you can see, the 4 tactics with varying levels of success. What do you think of the video? What do you think of those particular tactics? All the links to the tactics are in the description below. If you like the video, please hit the like button for me. It helps me build this channel. And please subscribe for more videos. There'll be a video of every single Premier League team with the same 4 tactics to see how they do. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the bell for notifications for when these next videos come out. Thank you very much. Show your support, and I'd love to know all your comments. Let me know what you think of the tactics. Let me know what you think if you download them and play them. And just, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.